Okay, hi peeps. So today I'm going to teach you guys about the skeleton of graffiti art and how you start working with it and how you start working with letters. And what we do is we start with our friend the block letter. Now, block letters are the base for your graffiti art. You work out all your issues on your block letters and you make sure that you get consistency, you get the same height, the same fatness, the same line weight. You make it consistent because graffiti, what makes it good is that you have consistency throughout all your letters. The letters aren't separate, it's one word, it's one piece. Okay, so all letters are not created equal, they're all very different, and the shapes matter. So 1 second. Okay, so I have a bunch of letters here. They're meaningless, but I'm going to show you how you arrange letters, and when you think about them, the shapes are really important. So I'm just going to show you, for instance, how all letters are not made the same, and then I'm going to show you how to do block letters. Okay, after that. So we're just going to bring down some of these. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put one of these guys in between each letter so that you can see that I'm trying to stay the same space away from each other. Okay, so it's called kerning. Okay, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So I'm going to do that so that you don't have to watch me because it's a lot of work. Okay, so what's cool about this and interesting is that I measured and they are exactly the same amount of space apart from each other. But look how the A, B, and L look closer together than the T and the O. So all letters, when you put them together, create shapes and what's called negative space, the space around them. So as you can see, if you're inconsistent or if you don't pay attention to the space between the letters, then you get something weird that looks like this. Now I'm going to do one more thing and show you one more thing, and then we're going to go on to block letters. So what I did is I put in um, two more letters, and if you notice, they're the same size, but they're not the same thickness. So what you have is you have inconsistency. It doesn't look like it belongs into the same with the A, B, and L. The OB does not. So you have to always think about your thickness of your graffiti art, okay? You want to make sure that your letters stay consistent. Now, if you notice, they work insofar that they are about the same size around now, okay? But now if I thicken it, you're going to find that it's going to be a lot happier to your eye, okay? And you know, when it comes to graffiti art, a lot of it is very abstract. It people like it and they're not quite sure why. It's letter, okay? And it's making art out of letters. And that's just a very cool thing. So once I thicken that, you see how it starts to get consistent? And now it all works together. So now let's learn about block letters. So whenever I'm doing any kind of lettering, any kind, I always start with a text box. And we all know what a text box is. We see it all the time on computers and stuff. But I always use one because it keeps me organized on where to go with things. Okay, it keeps the size and the height, the width and the height of everything consistent. All right, and that's important. Now I'm not going like super, carefully here. I probably should create a grid, but I'm not. Okay. So what I'm going to start with basically is my name. And okay, there's my name. Boop. Okay. So it's 5 letters. And so what I want to do now is kind of organize this into 5 spaces. Now you should probably um, we should probably be measuring this and all that, but I'm just going to go by my eye. But we don't have to, for your rough drafts, you don't have to be super like, you know, careful with it, okay? Just get it going. More or less, you can eyeball it, as they say. As you can see, even with a computer, I'm not doing this very well. Okay, and I'm going to actually cut off this end because this one is much longer than the others, or bigger. Okay, so more or less. Okay, it's a rough draft. I'm just kind of teaching you stuff. So I don't like that one either. I'm gonna you know not be too worried about it. And then I always like to cut it a little smaller here, just so that I can stay within these. Now, this is just a grid. It doesn't mean that you have to follow it exactly, and it doesn't mean that it should really have anything to do with your art. All this does is it gets you organized. It keeps your sizes, consistent. This one is too small. Okay, so now I'm getting a little freaky about this, aren't I? Okay. Um, so what I do first is I'm just going to put in my letters, okay? All right, I'm just use whatever color. So I'm just going to put them in just like that. Okay, I'm not getting fancy with it. I'm just making sure that they all kind of fit. And as you can see, voila, it all fits and it all looks really good together. Okay, now I'm going to make this a little bigger so that we can, so that you can see how I make block letters out of this. Okay, let me just do that. Magic. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put little, what they're called, actually, they're called in text speak, they're called serifs, okay? But on the edge of everything, I'm going to put a little, one of these things, okay? It's a serif, but we can call it a little line, okay? So as you can see, I'm just doing that. On every edge, okay? Bueno. So that gets me started. And I am going to talk about what do you do with an S, okay? So don't worry. So now, once you have these guys, all you have to do is connect them. Okay? So I'm going to connect it up here. You see, I'm just going to follow here. And if you notice, if I do it on this side, oh, I'm going to go over my box. But that's okay, all right? Because they're all going to go over the box, and that's fine. So you see I have my little thing here. So I'm just going to go down, and I'm going to connect it to the other side. Boop. And I'm going to do the same here. And I really want to keep it consistent. I really want to keep my see how it meets there, sorry, kind of. And I'm not doing this perfectly because I don't want you to worry about getting it perfect right now. I want you to worry about getting it just learning how to do block letters, okay? Now that's going to be a problem because as you can see, this one doesn't go down all the way. So I'm going to actually add some space there, okay? So I want to, this is what helps me figure out stuff, okay? So there's my I. So I want to make sure this is my new, this is my new line. And I want to make sure that they're all even on that, okay? More or less. Now I'm going to go back to my A. I'm going to connect that with that, okay? I'm going to connect this edge with that. I'm going to connect this to here. And I'm going to connect that to there. As you can see, I'm going to make a little window in there, okay? As you can see, what did I do wrong? Look at my A. My A is so pitiful. It's so little. All right, so I have to increase it, okay? Because now I have my new line. All right, I'm not gonna worry about, oh, this one is over that one or whatever. So now I know that I needed to increase it. If I didn't have my grid and I didn't have this line, I wouldn't have realized, ooh, that's bad. So the next thing I'm going to do is I just erase the middle, okay? It's, yeah, I think that'll work. I can erase the middle a little bit. I'm not going to want you guys to erase it because I'm going to kind of want to see your work a little bit. But as you can see, I have really consistent, pretty good block letters that are all the same thickness. They're all the same size. That's good. That's what I'm looking for, okay? And this is how you do it. So you just connect those edges, okay? Hold on. It's probably my mom calling me. Oh, yeah, it was my daughter, not my parent. But, okay, same thing. I start the same way I did before. just by drawing the letter in, okay? And remember how my other letters were like this? They didn't go to the bottom. They went to about there. Now what do? I put the little serif on this side, and I put a little serif on this side, right? Okay, so here we go. And then I just go all the way around until I connect it to that one, okay? Then I go on top here, and I'm just going to do the same thing here until I connect it to the bottom one. And as you can see, that's how you do the S. So you start with a letter, you put serifs on the letter, okay? And then you just connect the serifs. Just go around it, trying to keep it consistent on fatness, okay? I didn't keep it as consistent as I would like. Okay, and then once you have that, you just erase the inside, and you have yourself a block letter. And all letters are like that. Let me do one more hard letter, quote unquote hard letter, and that would be an M. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. Let me erase. Okay, same thing. You draw out your M. Now, the reason why M's are a little more challenging is because they have so many places to put serifs. Everywhere there's a point. Serif, 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 liney thing, if you want to call it that. Okay, so now that I have that, now all I have to do is connect the serifs. There's one here. Okay, so I'm going to connect it to that one. I'm going to connect these two. Then I'm going to connect this serif and this serif. Okay, and you can point it all the way down. All right, and then I have an M. Okay, and then if I erase the inside, you don't see all the work that happened there. Let me do that again. Okay, let me erase this and show you one more time, because this one is a little more complicated. I start again with an M, just regular old M. All right, it's not very beautiful, but whatever. I put serifs. Okay, and every letter that you do, that's all you do, is you just connect the serifs. Okay, connecting the serifs, connecting the serifs. There's that serif goes down there, and this serif goes down there. And I might just go and see it, and then you just point it, and then you have your M. Okay, so I'm going to want you guys to do your names. All right, and then probably as a class, or maybe we might do a letter, or we might do a word or two together. But basically, I'd like you to be able to do your name, and I want to see it more or less look like this. But keep your practice, and that is how you do block letters. You always want to check your block letters, making sure that they're the same width, same fatness, that they're consistent, that they're the same height, that they don't shrink in the end, all that good stuff. Okay. Bye.